What is up to you, Gadies and Lentilmen, Goys and Burls? Wow, that took way too many tries. But it is currently 2 in the afternoon. Just having my morning coffee, just woke up. And today's a special day because, as promised, I'm going to be making a video on my Fanatic Formula V2 steering wheel. Kind of as a quick overview, this is the Clubsport V2 wheel from Fanatic. As you can see, it is all carbon fiber with a suede Alcantara handles, as well as aluminum paddles on the back. These are the stock paddles. I haven't gotten the add-ons yet. Just wanted to get a feel for it, as I mentioned in videos before. As you can see, it looks pretty crazy. It almost looks like a standard F1 wheel, just doesn't have the cool little screen here with all of the driving modes and everything, but it does have pretty much everything else. It is pretty much a glorified Xbox controller. You can actually customize the buttons up top here. I'm gonna get into more of what my buttons do when we get into playing F1 a little bit later. But it does have, you know, analog sticks you can use to control. Wow, I did not mean to do that. All right, we're gonna go back. But this is a good display of the functionality of the wheel. You can pretty much use it in your Xbox home screen as well. It does attach to my CSL Elite wheelbase, as you can see. This thing is awesome. I love it so much. It's very sturdy. It feels so solid in your hands. The weight is perfect. It's not too heavy. It's not too light. You can have up to 5 different driving modes, similar to the Clubsport wheel that I did in my last video. Has a few more options, you know, sensitivity, force feedback, drift mode. I don't know why anybody would drift with this wheel. You know, you have your brake level, you can adjust all of that. Shock vibration. The one big difference is this MPS function. These are the little switches that you have down here where you can change what they mean, whether it's if you're changing your air or your fuel ratio. You can have, for instance, if you want your lean mix, you can have it always be 5 or have it in relation to wherever it is on the wheel. It's very confusing to explain. I don't think I did it very well. But the problem with this is on the Xbox, it actually doesn't work. It's not supported, which is the biggest bummer. A lot of the buttons on here aren't supported with Xbox. However, on PC it is. You know, so things like the dials up here, as well as these little switches here, aren't supported in F1, but they are supported on the F1 version of PC. You know, you have your home button here, menu buttons, all that wonderful things. But as we get more into the game, I'm gonna sort of go over what these buttons do. You can actually customize all of these buttons. All right, now that we've got the game loaded up and I found my coffee, let's get started. I'm pretty much gonna make this really quick. Just gonna do a few laps around Monza just to kind of give you a gist of how the wheel works and what it feels like in game. Like I said before, it is pretty amazing. Wow, all right, of course. But I'm just gonna go real quick. Gonna go over to solo, hit time trial. I'm gonna pick my personal favorite, if you didn't notice from my phone background, the Ferrari, because it's the best, even though they did not do very well last year. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, we're gonna hope for the best, you know what I mean? We're gonna go to Monza, you know, wouldn't be a Ferrari day without Monza. But literally do a few laps around this, give you a feel for everything, show you what it's like. But basically, you can program all of the buttons to, not all of the buttons, basically you can program the buttons to, the top buttons to certain functionalities. So for instance, this is technically Y on the standard controller. So if you're familiar with the F1 2020 controls, this would be your DRS, and then you have B and then X. So X, you know, if you're feeling, so X is pretty much used if you want to rewind and things like that. And then this will open up your MFD so that you can, you know, change your air to fuel ratio and all of that stuff, because the analog buttons down here don't work. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure we get our setup properly. I'm gonna go over to, and then we're gonna load our car setup. We're gonna go down to Monza. And we're gonna exit. And then now we're just gonna go to track. So this is completely off the rip, not warmed up, so bear with me here. I have been playing F1 2020 quite a lot since I've gotten the controller. I've been fully addicted to this game. I'm almost about halfway through a season already, so I've cheated a bit. I apologize. So as you can see, there's already a bit of force feedback. Gonna go into the stars. But as you can see, very responsive. I don't know if you can tell, but the wheel is completely shaking right now. Put on the DRS with that button there. Oh no! Wow. Alright, well that was pretty bad. Let's just, restart because not everybody's perfect. As you can see, I'm pretty high on the leaderboard. Alrighty, so alright, so now that I've had my fun, I actually broke my personal best twice there for you guys, so that's pretty cool. Going over the wheel a little bit. As you can see, we have the buttons up here. I was using my DRS zone, and then you can change, you know, everything from the MFD. So if you hit the B button, which I have, you're given a bunch of different buttons that you can put over here. I have my little exclamation point that I use for my MFD, and in a real game, you know, it'll show you, you know, your air to fuel ratio. You can change your brake bias, as you can see here. Kind of go through it, and then you go through the menus this way. I really wish that it activated the switches down here. That would make everything so much easier, you know, just being able to change it off the rip would be great. And then, you know, you also have, as I open up your DRS, open and close, and it's cool because it actually activates the driver as well, opening up the DRS. And, you know, there's a little bit of a delay there, but, you know, that's with every game, but it's still pretty responsive. There is a lot of force feedback. You know, you can of course change that in the settings of the wheel. I have it a little bit lighter just to make it a bit easier, as well as the rotation of the wheel. You know, depending on the track that I use. But honestly, it completely changes the whole racing experience. And I like to use this to prefer to a standard wheel, you know, if you were looking at Logitech or whatever, just because it gives you more of that sensation of driving an F1 car. The small wheel, the quick turning, also too, you know, it is an F1 car, so when you're sitting, as you can tell, the mobility is a lot more restrained, so that, you know, it's a bit more responsive that way too. And, you know, you can make it so that it is a bit heavier. It being a smaller wheel, if you do make the steering wheel heavier, it's going to take a lot more effort to actually steer. When you are driving at faster speeds, yes, it is a bit easier, but at slower turns, you know, the wheel tends to get heavy. That's all due to the wheelbase as well. If you are interested in my settings, please feel free to drop it in the comments, as well as the car settings. Granted, I'm no top performer in this game, but, you know, I've been tinkering a lot with the settings, and I do believe that the settings really do improve your lap times and your driving. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, again, feel free to drop a comment. If you want more content like this, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to stay tuned. I'm gonna be posting, you know, more in-game videos. I'll stop talking and you can just, you know, watch me play. So, thanks again for watching. And just remember to stay boosted.